So what's involved in opening a new restaurant? Today we look at Emma and Paul Stoddard, a local husband and wife team that are making their dream come true. Emma and Paul are longtime residents of Fredericksburg, and Paul has worked in the restaurant industry for many years. Emma has a real estate license and through a lucky sequence of events found the property at 216 William Street in downtown Fredericksburg. With their combined knowledge of the area and culinary skills, the Stoddards are opening a New York deli and speakeasy called Galvin's. With the opening date quickly approaching, the Stoddards are working around the clock. So what's it take to open a new restaurant and how do they do it? The Galvin's owners have graciously opened their doors to us and are sharing their inspiring story.
Welcome to Galvin's. My name is Emma Stoddard and my husband is Paul Stoddard, and this is our New York style deli we're opening. Our idea is at least that we're making everything from scratch. So we're not buying like deli meat from the grocery store and slicing it and making sandwiches. We are cooking our food from like raw to perfect. So our main focus is going to be, corned beef, pastrami, turkey, and all of that's going to be braised, broiled, roasted, whatever the means of cooking will be, all in-house. It's the pastrami itself is like a 2-week process, making your own corned beef. So it's a lot of just sitting and marinating, and my husband's a little more of the chef, so he rented this space and essentially subleased the space to other restaurants throughout the last 20, 30 years. I don't know how long exactly. And so the different businesses that were in here were operating in different capacities. Sometimes a restaurant, sometimes a bar upstairs. And the most recent business I know did have a drug bust. And I don't know the details of that, but that's essentially how we ended up with the space because it became available for rent. So yeah, here we are trying to fix up the madness. But yeah, we really want to make everything from scratch as much as possible. Everything from the sauces, upstairs we have more of a farm to table concept going, and we want to use as many local products as possible. So we will be making relationships with a lot of the local farmers and other purveyors in Virginia as best as we can to get that food onto your plate. In my history, I'm more of a baker, so breads is really my wheelhouse, and we just want to do a lot of fresh breads and just really yummy like dips, think like hummuses. And so down here is basically your main deli space. So it is going to be grab and go concept. We just got our deli case this week, which is super exciting. It's the front of the business, I guess. And we are going to be building a big countertop here that wraps around, and you'll come up and order and be able to pick your food up on the right-hand side.
There are lots of commerce that's already existing in downtown Fredericksburg. You can see it with the hustle and bustle that you see right here. There's lots of people who work downtown who need to be able to come in and make a quick transaction and have a healthy meal. And while we have a lot of offerings downtown, being able to grab something and go back to your store or go back to your office is really, really important, and that will make it a valuable asset.
I've been the designer of the space, so kind of everything you're seeing in here, from the colors to the light fixtures to everything, I've designed. I don't have a background in design, but I just kind of know what I like and know what we wanted to do. And we've had a bunch of people, including my husband, help us actually facilitate everything and make it happen. But yeah, it's kind of making your imagination come to life, so it's pretty cool. Yeah, well, we've just been so focused on getting the building ready that it's just like the business side of it hasn't really progressed yet, so it's kind of nice.
Until recently, I was co-owner of the Sunnyville Tavern, which is another restaurant here in town on the corner of Hanover and Middle Page. And I was there for 18 years, so that's the majority of my experience. I managed some other restaurants when I was younger, but really just kind of self-taught and learned from a lot of people that worked for us throughout the years. My former business partner Steve's still there, so he still retained ownership of the business, so it's still going strong. So yeah, that's mainly my experience. You know, I've catered weddings, I've done barbecue at festivals, I've done all sorts of stuff.
Will eventually be a kitchen and not a construction zone. But this is, so the whole building is two buildings kind of smashed together. So we have the whole kitchen back here, which is really nice. So down here is more, cleaning, sandwich prep, kind of baking counter, and up there is where all the cooking will be. We're gonna have a smoker and an oven coming in, and that's where a lot of the food is gonna be prepared and either sent upstairs or then sent over here for preparation. Behind you was a walk-in. It used to be a walk-in. When we came into the building, it was inoperable, essentially. So we ended up just gutting it, putting brand new drywall, brand new tile flooring, a brand new ceiling, brand new lighting, and we are just gonna make it we're gonna put refrigerators in here, but we're also gonna have it be a prep space that kind of adds on to the kitchen.
So Galvin's is a family name on my wife's mom's paternal side, so her grandmother's family name. And they basically had like a speakeasy in the 20s in New Jersey. And so there's a photo of it that her mom gave us 3 or 4 years ago of it, and it was called Galvin's. And it was really cool, we always liked that photo. And then when we had the idea about the deli, we thought of some different names, but then that one just kind of sounded right. And we went with it. So it's got a family tie to it. They were an ice cream shop though, they weren't like a deli. One thing that we'd always, basically our business plan with the restaurant, it wasn't something that we were imminently gonna do, but we had always kind of talked about how it'd be nice to have something like that in town, because my wife's from New York, she grew up in Manhattan, so we do go back to visit her family, and obviously we like the delis and the food and all that stuff, kind of like Katz's Diner, or Russ and Daughters, which is a seafood one. They're all right next to each other. So we always go to those, and we really like them. And I'm a big fan of like corned beef and pastrami and smoking the meats and stuff like that. So we're just hoping to create a place where you can come get a quick sandwich. We'll have pre-prepared meals. There's not a lot of those in town where you can just grab it and go. So that was kind of like our philosophy behind the downstairs. It's an old building, so every time we do something, it creates another issue sometimes, but I think we're getting near the end.
Older, it has its quirks, nothing's level, nothing's straight, there are no perfect right angles. So even just when it comes to painting, it's very complicated, and I'm looking around the room, just looking at all these little details, and it's so easy to get caught up in the details when the space is vacant like this. And so upstairs, again, it's called South River up here. It's going to be a speakeasy style bar with a sort of hidden entrance downstairs. And we really wanted to tie the concept to the community. Paul and I both love Fredericksburg, we love the community, and not only will the food, we'll try to source it all locally, but we really wanted to highlight some aspects of the history of the town. So we are going to be trying to find photographs that we can kind of enlarge and hang on the walls. Depot. I'm probably there 3 times a week, if not more. I've become friends with everybody that works there, and so a lot of we ordered the countertops from Home Depot, the bar tops, and they had a company come out and they measured and they installed and they did a wonderful job. We ended up going with a granite slab just because it's beautiful and it'll last a really long time. And again, the concept of South River, we really wanted to add in a lot of natural elements, just kind of tying back to the nature of the area, the river, and the town itself. So along through the bar, we have this really nice like stone tiling, the granite, and then eventually we are going to have these like kind of raised garden beds that we're going to fill with greenery and hang from the ceiling, or just have a little more green elements around the space. Speakeasy style, obviously for any speakeasy you need a secret entrance. So we have a local artist, Kathleen, who's going to be painting a mural for us on a door, just sort of a kind of a landscape with a river running through it, with the city in the background. And through that door you will be able to walk through and come up the stairs to the bar. We do want it to be reservation only up here, or at least we're not going to pack the space. It's going to be very seating only. So, you know, we do encourage reservations once we are open, but we want to keep it a really just nice, calm, sort of secret feeling environment. Right now we're in the process of waiting on a couple of permits to really be able to finalize everything. Our plumbing and electric permits especially, which just kind of helps us get the ball rolling to be able to build towards the health permit, which then allows you to operate and open. So that's been a slower process than we probably would have liked, but you know, it's allowed us also the time to get in here and just really, you know, even just paint. The painting takes an extraordinary amount of time, patching all the walls, but the city's been really lovely to deal with. Everybody seems very excited for this building to be renovated.
So it's going to be wonderful to have the new deli by our very important attraction of Market Square. And that venue just brings in lots of commerce and lots of events.
So I would say the only thing we really found historical, and I don't know if 1993 is historical enough, but this whole wall was graffiti from people who had written on it in the early 90s. You know, historically, you know, besides like so any brick that we painted had already been painted. So we didn't want to paint any brick that had been left raw. So the spaces that are raw are the spaces that had never had paint on them. Ideally, we'd like to open in November. You know, if that gets pushed back, which it seems to have been. 10 months ago, we kept saying July, and now we're almost in October. And you know, that's just the nature of opening a restaurant. So, but we got all the paperwork in, so we're halfway there. So I was told that this door is where they used to store the ice. So ice used to get delivered in like giant blocks, and that's how they would have refrigeration for, I think mostly this is when the marketplace was being run. So then they'd have ice to refrigerate all their products for the market. It is. So yeah, no, we haven't seen any ghosts yet. I'm pretty sure he was just being facetious, but you know, I have heard tales of different homes downtown being haunted. We have yet to see a ghost. We have yet to see anything move or, you know, being messed with. But if it is haunted, they're very friendly.
Like 1970s. It was a grocery store before here, Jones Brothers Grocery. And this was a delivery area. They packed up groceries at the back door and delivered it to each, you know, homes like the old style delivery service used to be. But after that, it was a meat market for a while, very short order. They sold frozen meats. After that, there was a deli. It was called Holly's Deli, and they were very successful. They were here for 10, 15 years, and closed up because Mrs. Holly went into the real estate business. And after that, it was rented to Santa Fe, Buffalo. Buffalo Rome was here. They fixed it up for a while back in the 80s and early 90s. And that was very successful until the family split up and they gave it up. And then since then, it's kind of floated back and forth from this or there. I certainly am glad that the starters got it, because I think you're going to make a good go of it.
Yes, it's a challenging business, and yes, it comes with great risks, but the Stoddards are following their passion with the basic belief that if you make really good food, people will come.